Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bud Shorak, Options University, Monday, March 18th, 2013. Access to this video is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing contained in this video, website, or promotional material constitutes a recommendation, a promotion, solicitation, or offer of any particular investment, security, or transaction. Options University provides educational services that are meant to teach you the risks and rewards of trading stocks and options. And we are not a service that tells you what to trade. We're not implying or guaranteeing any profit, and as always, do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. And with that thought, let's take a look at the past week and see exactly where and how far we keep going in this what one must call a bull market. Looking at the Dow, we see that the change for the week was up 0.8%, giving us a year-to-date total of 10.8%, a measure that we cannot keep going at this present rate, but for the moment our trend is up. Looking at the NASDAQ, we see that it also was up, although but a laggard, up 0.1%. Even though Apple began to make some kind of a move, we see that the NASDAQ for the year is up 7.6%. Looking at the S&P 500, we see that for the week it is up 0.6%. Not bad move out of the S&P. And getting very near its all-time high, up 9.4%, trying to jump into that double digits. Russell 2000, the leader for the year, up 1.1% for the year, up 12%. 1.1% for the week, and up 12.1% for the year. An unimaginable pace that the market's been at as we're winding out soon the first quarter of 2013. Looking at the economic announcements for the week, we see that we have very little going on Monday. As we look at Tuesday, 8:30 morning, we have housing starts, which we won't expect the market to move very much. But look at this one right here. On Tuesday, March 19th, the always famous FOMC meeting begins. However, probably not going to get much results out of it as we look at the latest meeting. The announcement is going to take place at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and sometimes that can certainly cause some movements in the market. But again, I don't expect much out of the FOMC meeting at this particular time. Jobless claims on Thursday at 8:30. We have the same thing every week. PMI manufacturing index also on Thursday, and we have existing home sales and Philly Fed on Thursday. Friday looks like nothing happening as far as economic announcements in this week. We just finished options expiration week, and we'll see exactly what that looks like in the SPX. Looking at the overall market, we see that we are still in very much an uptrend, still very much following this trend line that we have drawn in here. Been a while since we've had a pullback to the anywhere near the 50-day. Well, that's sort of near the 50-day moving average. We had it in January. A minute we had that fiscal cliff problem solved, this market ran from right around January 1st, and it continued its run right up to February 19th, which is about a month and a half. Pullback at the end of February, and we see how long we're going to run as the SPX heads towards its previous all-time high of 1576. With that, let's take a closer look at the week that was and see exactly what the week did. And we see that while we are not heading up at any great pace here, as we look at the last 5 days, we ended up with higher highs and higher lows. A little consolidation earlier in the week, and then a breakout on Thursday. Friday, no big move out of the market whatsoever, as we come very, very near that all-time high. Looking at the Dow, which had certainly quite a move, and is now in big-time all-time highs, just keeps going up further and further. Doing a little consolidating this last week, but still up there near all-time highs, with a little bit of pullback on Friday, which was after 9 days in a row or 10 days in a row with up. And then Friday we had, with a great deal of volume, notice that, a little bit of pullback, but we still didn't even change the trend, as we still ended up with an inside day with a lower high. So Dow just keeps right on creeping up. Well, when will we find weakness? When will we have the pullback? Are we overbought? You bet we are. But it's just a matter of when the market's going to pull back and how far. Notice that when the Dow pulled back, it barely got below that 30-day moving average. Didn't really come near that 50-day moving average back there in that end of February. A bit of a pullback. And we will have another one of those soon. That's what healthy markets do as they run higher and higher in this bull market. NASDAQ, look at this. Nice little run for the week. We see that we're getting higher highs and higher lows all week long. We did get a lower high on Friday during the overall market pullback, down 10 points for the day, almost 10 points for the day, as the NASDAQ showed a little bit of a pullback out of Friday after a breakout from its previous highs on Thursday. So healthy market, normal going into the weekend type of move. Looking at the Russell 2000, the all-time leader for the year of 2013. Wow, look at that. Explosion from the end of February, continuing higher, higher, and higher, as the Russell had a bit of a pullback again on Friday, but nothing worth talking about. So what kind of fear do we have in the market as we watch this bull market run? Well, as you would expect, not much. Looking at the VIX, we see that we're down there at basically what is very, very low, and so look for a pullback in the market as it's time for this VIX to bounce, and you can actually trade this VIX if you so choose, and it may be time to start taking positions in the VIX as it is time for that pullback, and we're getting very near the high of the S&P, so time to take a look at that VIX trade. Expecting it, remember this is a contrarian indicator, so we expect this to go up if the market pulls back, which certainly shouldn't be too far away as we test the all-time highs of the S&P. Finally, let's take a look at some of the ETFs that tell us about our sectors. Where would we expect bonds to go? Well, as the market's going up, we expect bonds to pull back, but we see that for the week, we kind of went sideways, looking for a breakout in the bond market if the overall market begins that pullback, which cannot be too far away. How far away? Well, that's a matter of watching your highs and lows and watching your technical indicators to see when it finally happens. It probably won't be long, and it probably won't be very deep as to that pullback. Financials giving us exactly the kind of support we expect out of the financials, heading up as we see the market continue up. We're happy to see that the financials are following. That's one of those healthy DOW theory moves coming out of financials. ETFs, it'll move up with the overall market. Taking a look at oil, we see that as the last couple of weeks went by, we did have a bit of a rise in oil. We saw this at the gas prices, but certainly not anywhere near the yearly highs. As looking at USO, our ETF for our oil sector. Next, we'll take a look at that safe haven gold and see what gold has done during this past week, as we see that many of those hedge funds that have been betting on an explosion out of gold haven't been getting it, as gold has pulled back and is in a new trading area at some lows. So a definite downtrend as we see the 200-day above the 50-day, above the 30-day, which is our classic downtrending stock. So GLD, our gold sector ETF, isn't showing us much strength, as we see no great fear in the market. Of course, we saw the VIX under 12 points, so we certainly could expect a little bounce out of gold if we do get that pullback, but don't expect it to be long-lived. Be nimble and take your profits if you do get involved in GLD. All right, finally, looking at what kind of volume we had during the last week, let's take a look at the SPY. We see that we're down here trading right around average volume as the market has pulled up. We don't see any big volume surges taking place. No rallies showing us an end according to volume, so just kind of plodding along, moving on up, headed for that all-time high. So for those of you that are gold members, we'll stick around and we'll take a look at our list of stocks to watch, see what those horsemen did during the last week. In the meantime, the rest of you, if you are not a gold member, you'd like to see more free videos from Options University, tune in to www.optionsuniversity.com/free gold. And with that thought, Be ready for a Fed announcement this week, and this is Butch Shorak, Options University, Monday, March 11th, 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here.